Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Brother Love in Haiti. For all my peoples that's here, I hope you had a wonderful day. Wonderful day. We can set up right here. So now we have a special guest here today, and this is a young man that I admire. He's doing wonderful work in our country, and this man represent what needs to be done for our country to be better. Now, we're going to have a talk about agriculture. We're going to have a talk about the diasporas wanting to come back and invest in Haiti. So please stay tuned and learn something today. I see the shadow behind me. There we go. We better now. So I'm going to wait for a little while till I get a chance to introduce him. Because a lot of people have been wondering the ropes to take in order to reinvest back in Haiti, and the real news from a person that actually visit Haiti frequently or have a business in Haiti. The ropes to take, the guys to take, the do's and don't do's, So I'm waiting for my people to get here, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I can't wait any longer. I know the man is watching, So for Ice, yeah, we can see you now. Yeah, right. Let me make this a little bit. Let me brighten it up a little bit for y'all. Yeah, because this shadow, I don't know what's going on. Let me fix my light, my brothers. Miss something. And I don't know why I'm so nervous today. Maybe because this is such a big deal, It's talking about something that is very close to my heart, agriculture. We all know the history of agriculture in our country. Haiti used to be the pearl of Antilles, meaning just agriculture alone made it. Oh, okay, so this man, we having some technical difficulties, y'all. I don't know what just happened. Let me see if I can get him back on the line. Whenever you're trying to do something good, you have some roadblocks ahead, but that don't never stop us. We're just going to keep pushing and doing what we do. So big shout out to 4ICNs in the building. We can see you now. Ha, ha, ha. Kiki Mills, the realest. Hello, everyone. Hit those likes on your way in. And this is very important to me, y'all. This is why I'm kind of nervous, So without further ado, I want to present to you the CEO and founder of Organic Operations, Mr. Collins Reserve. What's going on, my brother?
I'm doing well, Brother Love. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, my brother. I'm all right. So without further ado, please introduce yourself to the people.
Oh man, first of all, I'm happy and I feel blessed that I get to be on your channel today, man. I'm just as nervous as you are, man.
Wonderful, man. And this is a platform about presenting the ones that's doing for the country. It's about supporting one another. You are doing such an amazing job that, I asked you, can you come in here and speak to the brothers and sisters? And you look young. So please introduce yourself to the people that don't know you.
All right, man. My name is Collins Reserve. I run a nonprofit in Las Calabas, Haiti. It's called Organic Operations. We specify in agriculture, specifically aquaponics, and we're doing some stuff with some greenhouses as well right now.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this? How long have you been taking the initiative to start this program in Haiti?
Oh man, it goes back to 2017. 2017, I had the ability to purchase the property in Las Calabas, and from there we've been working. We put up the fencing, we built the houses, bought in the solar panels, bought in the fish tanks, bought in the greenhouses as well. So it's taken about 4 years for us to get this initiative off the ground.
Okay, Las Cabas. For the people that's not familiar with that area, can you please tell them where's that area at?
Okay, so Las Calabas is in Plateau Central. It's I would say 2 hours 2 hours outside of Port-au-Prince. About maybe 45 minutes from Mibale, if you're familiar with Mibale, and an hour away from the Dominican Republic, the border of the Dominican Republic.
Okay, so how familiar are you with Haiti? How long did it take you to come back to travel? Is it, or have you been just started traveling, or you've been back and forth in Haiti your whole life?
Oh man, I'll actually go into like a bit of a story of my past, man. I was a troubled youth. I won't lie to you guys, man. I was one of those kids where your parents tell you, "My boy Haiti, my boy Haiti," and my mom eventually decided that she was going, fulfill that promise, and she sent me back to Haiti. So I had been traveling to Haiti since 2009. 2009 was the first time I went back to Haiti. I actually went back to Haiti when I was around 3 years old, but I don't remember that trip too well. Um, my mom actually sent me back to Haiti in 2009. I spent a year in Haiti. I actually left because of the earthquake. I was in Haiti in 2010 during the earthquake. I left Haiti, and ever since then, Haiti has always had like a soft spot. I've always had a soft spot for Haiti, and I've always liked Haiti, and I've always saw Haiti as a place that I wanted to be. So I've been traveling from Haiti back and forth since 2009, and in 2007, 2015, I went back again once, and then 2017, I went back again, and that's when I decided to purchase the property and start being in Haiti more often.
Okay, I got two questions I wanna ask you. First, I want you to either or you pick or explain the history of Haiti according to your knowledge, and what is your objective? What is your goal with this project that you're doing, and specify it for the people so they could be familiar.
Okay, yeah. So
Your
I'll
choice. You
choose
can pick one.
I'll choose the history of Haiti because I think that's something a lot of people should be familiar with, and I think a lot of people should know about it, man. As you know, Haiti is the first Black republic in the Western Hemisphere to gain its own independence, and that happened in 1804. But another thing that we don't speak about, Haiti is the second country in the Western Hemisphere to gain its independence at the United States. I think that's something that we don't acknowledge. Whenever we see articles on the news, we always hear that Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, but most articles don't begin with it's the second country in the Western Hemisphere that gained its own independence. We know about all the main characters. We know about the Jean-Jacques Dessalines. We know about the Toussaint Louverture, the Dirty Boukmans. Um, those are all interesting guys that I think every Haitian person should be familiar with and every Haitian person should know about. But there's a few other things we don't know about Haiti. We don't know that, I don't know if everybody's familiar, but Haiti actually helped the United States fight in their own American Revolutionary War in the Battle of Savannah.
Mhm.
Haiti had sent 500 soldiers and they helped them fight and gain their independence as well. Um, yeah, there's a few other facts that I think is very interesting about Haiti as well. And you always saying that Haiti is the pearl of the Antilles. Haiti helped the United States in several ways. Actually, if it wasn't for Haiti trying to gain its own independence, we would have never had the Louisiana Purchase. America would have never been able to expand and gain the rest of the property that it was able to gain because Napoleon was forced to sell that because Haiti was giving them so much trouble. Um, Yeah, I think that's very interesting that Haiti has played such a significant role in the history of America, but rarely do we ever hear that. When I was a student in school, I learned about World War II, I learned about World War One, I learned about Hitler, Archduke Ferdinand, I learned about all those individuals, but I never ever heard my teacher ever tell me that Haiti was the cause of America being able to expand and gain
Mhm.
all these properties and gain all these territories. Those are some stories that I had to go find out as an adult myself.
Most certainly, man. That's powerful, man. And this is what this platform is about, man. Showing the strength of our people, man. And to see you so young taking this initiative, and aquaphonics. Can you explain to the people exactly what that is? I messed it up.
It's cool. It's aquaponics, man. Aquaponics. So
Oui.
aquaponics is we grow fish. It's fish farming basically. But rather than just throwing the water away from the fish, that water is extremely nutrient rich. That water has a lot of things, has a lot of fish waste within it. So we use that same water to be able to we recycle it in a system and we use it to garden. We use it to irrigate our garden as well.
Wow, 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 wow. So for the people that's wondering, like, cause you do travel to Haiti, for the diasporas that do want to come to Haiti, what would you advise them, the do's and the don'ts?
Oh man, just establishing this business this last year has taught me a lot of do's and don'ts. To be very honest with you, I would say the do's are before you get to Haiti, make sure you have some family that is very trusted and you're very familiar with. That's something that's big, or at least have somebody that you can talk to, somebody that's boots on the ground, that's in Haiti, that can give you the information, that can help you with even the transfer rate. For instance, sometimes you'll go to buy something and they'll be like, pay in a dollar, and you're just like, I have good. What are you talking about paying a dollar? But it's not actually that. It's when you have 100 good, that's equivalent to $20 Haitian. When you have 500 good, that's equivalent to $100 Haitian. So it's familiarizing yourself with the territory. I think that's the number one thing you have to do when you get to Haiti. Second thing you have to do once you get to Haiti is make sure all your paperwork is right. Make sure that everything you're doing and the people that you're rolling with are legitimate. They're 100% 100% as much as they can be. Make sure they're truthful people. Make sure they're people who are honest and are going to tell you the truth. I think also once you're getting into something like aquaponics, for instance, agriculture is in my background. Agriculture is the background of my family, but I'm very much interested in agriculture. And throughout this year, I've been learning a lot about agriculture. I've been learning a lot of different things, different techniques. Currently, right now, I'm taking an agricultural course right now to learn a bit more about agriculture. But I would say whatever business that you're deciding to get into, learn about it as much as possible before you step foot in Haiti and decide to go do that business. It's very important. I would say just being aware, eyes open, making sure that you're watching when you're going to in Haiti, making sure that you're always aware. It's situational awareness is extremely important in Haiti. And I would say also familiarizing yourself with the people in town, familiarizing yourself with the locals as well, having a good, conversations, building good reports with the locals as well, because they'll be able to help you. They're extremely helpful people and they want to help you, but you also have to familiarize yourself with them.
And I think it's very important, the initiative that you took. Agriculture, that is what gave us all our wealth. That is something that is needed because right now our agriculture has been destroyed. We are exporting all these goods that is not really good for consumption.
No,
So
not
it's
at all.
leaving a lot of our brothers and sisters with a lot of these diseases. Like it's destroying the body. So I really believe in agriculture. Like agriculture is the strength behind any country, behind any economy. You want to destroy a country, destroy the agriculture. So what you're doing is very, very important. And I applaud you for that. This is why, I asked you to join this because I truly believe in planting. I truly believe in the trees. So let me ask you a question. What role do you think the diaspora plays in Haiti's future?
Oh man, I think the diaspora play a large role in Haiti's future, man. As you're familiar, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but for like the last 10 years, the diaspora has sent every single yearly they send over $2 billion back to Haiti. That makes up that makes up almost a third of Haiti's GDP annually. That's honestly amazing to me. To tell you the truth, that's very amazing to me because the country in itself, usually they can generate around another $4 million, $4 billion themselves. But we're like one of the only countries in the world where the people outside of the country play such a major role in what we're doing in the country.
Wow.
It's so big. It's so big to me. It's mind-boggling almost. And going back to the agricultural conversation again, I think agriculture is playing a super big role in Haiti, and it's going to play a big role in Haiti's future because currently Haiti is exporting agriculturally. They import about $1 billion worth of goods from the Dominican Republic. $1 billion. Imagine if we decided to take that $1 billion that we were using, right, and we decided to invest it into our own agricultural systems. Imagine what we'd be able to do. Imagine the type of great things we'd be able to do. There's people who are still living extremely primitively in Haiti, still burning charbon, for instance. That makes absolutely no sense. Like there's propane, and not only that, with the whole deforestation issue in Haiti, that is destroying the topsoil. We're not able to grow anything that we want to that we were able to grow, and it just makes absolutely no sense. We live in an age in which people can, there's something that's called propane. Every home should have access to natural fuel. That makes absolutely no sense at all. But
so for everybody that's watching, please join in the conversation. Any questions you would like to ask this man right here, please feel free to ask. So for the diaspora that's scared to come back to invest in Haiti, any advice, anything you would like to tell them?
Man, I would tell her, don't be scared, man. Don't be scared, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna build Haiti for us. Nobody's gonna put their foot down. And if they do decide to build Haiti for us, they're gonna do it out of their own intent and out of their benefit. Nobody's gonna come to Haiti and say, "Hey, we feel bad for you guys. Let's give you guys this. Let's give you guys that." Nobody's doing that anymore. I'll let you know that personally myself. I've emailed and traveled to over 200 organizations while I've been in the States, and I've received less than 10 responses. Most of the responses that I've gotten back have told me, hey, we either have something going on in Haiti, or we've tried to go to Haiti one time and it was a complete disaster. Haiti's hopeless.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
But
been
they
nothing
still
but
about this.
yeah, it's nothing but negative responses. A lot of people are very scared of Haiti right now, and I feel as if the United States right now is kind of saying, this is a Haitian problem and Haitians have to solve it. This is an issue that this is for you guys to solve. We've helped you guys as much as we possibly can. We've done what we tried. We dug a lot for you guys, but at the end of the day, this is a problem that you guys have to solve. You guys have to find your way out of this. And if we don't find our way out of this, it's gonna be, we're gonna eventually go down a path that Rwanda once went down, with a million people, with the genocide of a million people, and it makes absolutely no sense. We're in the 21st century. We are the first country. We're the second nation. We're the second country in the Western Hemisphere to take our independence, and we shouldn't be at this state of our history anymore. We should have already passed this. I know that
So
there's been a
then,
lot of.
Chris,
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. So what is the key factors to why Haiti is in this condition? What would you say?
I would say it's two major key factors. I would say that it's some of the I'm sorry. It's some of the foreign policies. That's one issue that Haiti has. Some of the foreign policies have not been in the advantage of Haiti, and also I would say that it's a problem. It's a problem of local Haitian government as well. But if you really want to break it down, we could start about talking about the foreign policies. I would say
Mm,
the first foreign policy that put Haiti in this position was the embargo of Haiti after Haiti decided to take its independence. That was
that's right.
the that was the number one thing that put us in a situation. We had France decided to say, "Hey, we're going to come back and we want our money for the destruction that you caused us." That
Mm,
that right there put us in a very bad position. We ended up having to pay that debt for 122 years, and it was equivalent to around 20 to 30 billion dollars. Like that's crazy to me. Like imagine if we had the ability to go back in history, and we were able to say no, we don't want to pay that. Imagine what that money could have did for our economy. Imagine what that money
mm.
would the effects that money would have had for us. That money would have did great things for us. That money would have developed us. We would have been able to trade with other countries. We would have been able to do a lot of great things. I think another issue with foreign policy in Haiti is when we go back to the 1915 occupation of Haiti by the U.S. During that time, the U.S. first of all had killed 15,000 Haitian men and women throughout that occupation, which is
Mm.
atrocious, which is terrible. Not only that, it controlled 40% of Haiti's government, specifically tax and imports. So you already know what happened with that money. And also during that time, the United States decided to take $500,000 from the Haitian government, and it's just like another reason. I think it's extremely important that we speak about these things and kind of track them out throughout history and see that Haiti isn't a country that's cursed. Haiti isn't a country that because we quote unquote did voodoo to take our independence. We're in the state that we are because every country in the world has a history. Every country in the world their hands aren't clean. Every country and we can't just turn our backs as Haitian and say, it's cursed and this is why these things are like this. No, we have to sit down. We have to sit down and look at, certain things. We have to sit down and look at certain things and be like, hey, 1+1=2. Like
That's
logically,
right.
the reason why these things are happening is because of this, that, and that, and that, and that. We have to be able to track this down. I think excuse me. Another key issue with Haiti was obviously the Papa Doc and the Baby Doc situation, and how the U.S. backed them because the U.S. feared that Haiti was going to turn into a communist country.
Mm.
That's another thing.
Powerful.
Very extremely powerful, and we cannot forget not to solely put blame on him, but we cannot forget Bill Clinton destroying the rice industry in Haiti.
Mm.
That's another thing we have to track down and look at. And now we can even go further than that. We can go to them killing the Cocho Creole, for instance, them destroying all of that. And I remember my father would tell me stories about that. My father would tell me stories about how that was the best pig in the Caribbean. That was the best pig he had ever tasted in his life. the Coastal Creole. And it's like, look at all these things that have led to our demise. Look at all these things that have led to us on this path right now. We could talk about the 2010. We could talk about the 2010 earthquake. That's another issue where there was $9 billion that was raised for Haiti, and to this day we still don't know where that money's gone. We still don't know where that money's gone. If you want to break it down, man, if you want to really break it down, $5 billion went to non-Haitian organizations out of $9 billion that was collected. Another $580 million went to the Haitian government. And only $36 million went to Haitian local organizations during that time. So we have to ask the question, where did that money go? What happened to it? Where did that money go? And just tracking all these events, seeing all these things that happen, it's like we can't solely put the blame. Yes, some of the blame is upon ourselves, but it's not just that. We have to, look at the course of history and look at the things that have happened to us. The other issue that I have, the other issue that I have is with the whole local Haitian government. I think that's something that we don't put enough emphasis on, and we don't speak about. We try to speak about it as much as possible, but we don't really. What's the word I'm looking for here? We kind of leave them. They're not accountable. That's the word. That's it. They're not accountable for the actions, man. A lot of the time, these Haitian politicians, they'll run their campaigns, and they'll just like in America, they'll run campaigns and they'll make a whole bunch of false promises that they never see through. I think the Haitian people need to start demanding more. Like, hey, if you're going to make these campaign promises, we want to see you fulfill them. We want to see these things actually happen. Another issue with the Haitian politicians is a lot of these guys are unqualified. Realistically, a lot of these guys don't have degrees in political science. A lot of these guys, these guys don't have political. All they have is money and somebody to back them up. And once they get into these positions of power, they give the people that put them into power, they give them the kickbacks. They help them with whatever they want to do. But they're not politicians. A lot of these guys are just liars. These guys are selling the Haitian people dreams, and they're not doing anything about it.
Another issue are being backed by foreign interests to keep this going on.
Exactly. Another issue is that a lot of these Haiti has a very, very young population. Like 30% of the population is under 15 years old. Another 30% of that population is between 15 to 29 years old. And another 20% of that population is between 39 and 44 years old. And when you look at most Haitian politicians, these guys are old men. These guys are old men that have been in power for several generations or for, at least 10, 15 years. And it's like, okay, if we have all these young kids, if we have all these young guys that are out here, why aren't they getting into positions of power? Why aren't they able to, hold a position of office? Why can't you see somebody who's 25, 26, in their mid-20s, their early 30s, be a magistrat or a senator or run something local within their community? Why is it that all of these guys that are politicians are older people that are kind of, ingrained into that system of corruption?
Man, that's powerful, man. You done touched on a lot of wonderful subjects, especially about the history of Haiti. A lot of people's minds are blown because, like you say, they don't teach them this in school. They just basically just show you the problems. Like, this is the problems that Haiti has, but they don't tell you about that we was occupied by the U.S., that our Constitution was rewritten, that all the gold was took from Haiti and sent into the New York banks. They don't tell you about how many freedom fighters lost their life carrying on the tradition of keeping our country, So they just make it seem like we created these problems, when in actuality, it was designed.
But Brother Love, I think one of the main issues is that in a Haitian household, some of these things aren't taught. For instance, like I've told you, I had to go as I got older and I wanted to find out more about history and more about Haiti. I had to go on the internet and go look that up. I had to go find that information on the internet. My mother never really taught me about, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. My mother never taught me about Toussaint Louverture. My mother never taught me about Dirty Bookman. It was me as I got older, I decided to go look it up. The three things that my mother taught me was l'école, l'église, la caille. Those are the three things that she taught me. Those are the three things. You go to school, you go to church, you go back home. Those are the three things. And I also fault, the Haitian church as well. I think that's a place that, they should have been teaching that. And it's within the Haitian church. They should have been, informing Haitian kids that who they were. Because a lot of the issues I had in school, the issues I had in school were children making fun of me because I was Haitian. And if I would have known, my history, I would have never got offended. I would have never got into half the fights I got into growing up. I would have never gotten into all the trouble I got into, because I could have said, "Hey, man, I come from a country where we took our own independence. We fought for our own rights." I think that's something that's very much neglected. A lot of children who are born in America, they know that, okay, yes, I'm a Zoe. I eat Haitian food. I love it, but they don't know the actual history of what Haiti is and what Haiti has done.
Mm, powerful, powerful. So now let's bring it back to I'm going to always chop up the name, okay? Aquaponics,
Aquaponics, aquaponics.
aquaponics. Even if you tell me that's just how my tongue works in agriculture. So, what is your vision for this movement? Please let the people know in any way they can support you, follow you on Instagram or whatever. Like, we just going to plug it together because it's about supporting one another. I love what you are doing. You are a plus side for our country. You are a plus side for our country. You well reserved, and I see you young, you very educated, you came prepared. So whatever I could do, my brother, to back you up and give you that strength, it's not just for me, it's for the country.
Mm-hmm.
So tell the people, what is your goals? What is your vision for your movement, my brother?
So first of all, we're registered as a 501c3. That's something that I question it every once in a while, because I do want to get to a point in which our organization isn't based off of donations. I would like to get to a point in which we're providing a product, we're providing a service. We're not having to go out there and we're kind of having to ask people to, at the kindness of their heart, to do this. We kind of want to say, like, hey, we have something for you, take it. Or we can export it to another country that wants to take it from us and help us build our economy, because that foreign investment is really big. But my goal is like I told you, is to get into export. I would love to be able to get us into export first. Fix our local issues, because without fixing our local issues, we can't look into we can't look into the future, and we can't look at the broad spectrum. I think food insecurity is a big issue in Haiti. A lot of people don't have access to nutrients, or the vital nutrients that they need to survive. I think so. That's the number one thing. We have to fix that. Also, we have to fix soil insecurity, and we have to fix deforestation. Those are the things that we need to address immediately, and those are the things that we need to address locally. Once we're able to address those issues, we can then look into saying, all right, we've addressed these issues. Now let's take our product to different countries, because again, Haiti made France rich. Because of Haiti's agricultural ability, Haiti made France one of the Haiti made France the richest country in the world during that time, because of what we were able to do. So I don't see what agriculture. I don't see why we're not able to do that again. I don't see why it's impossible for us to do that again. It's not impossible for us to do that again. If we were able to do it once, we got to look back on our history and you got to say, okay, these are the things that we did that made us profitable. These are the things that made us a great country. Let's go back and do those again. And we won't be able to do them until we first address the issue of soil infertility, because cutting down these trees has made all the topsoil. When it rains, all the topsoil has no place they don't have no soil to grab onto. They don't have anything to grab onto. And all the nutrients from the topsoil flows right into the sea, flows right into our rivers. So soil infertility is a major issue. We have to address that first. Once we're able to address the issue of soil infertility within, myself, Las Calbas, and eventually all throughout Haiti, we can then say, all right, let's get back into producing, mass production. We can produce enough food that we can not only feed ourselves, but we have enough food right here that we can now export to other countries. And now we can get that foreign investment. We can get that foreign dollar that's going to be able to help us stimulate our economy.
Okay, now let me ask you this. So you said the things that we need to do. So I'm not asking you this because I'm a man of action. Do you have the answers of
No,
the
I don't.
things that we need to do? Like as far as like to take action, do you have the answers of to take actions to start doing some of the things that we need to do?
Some things. Listen. I don't have
Let's
all
just
the
say
answers.
somebody had $1 million right now and said, "I believe in this guy. I'm gonna invest $1 million into this company for him to start this." Do you have the answers, or do you have the methods of stabilizing or getting rid of the problems and making solutions?
I think yes, I do. I don't have all the answers to everything, but I think if within my region, within the area that I'm working in right now, I think that if we invest heavily into compost is something extremely simple, extremely simple. You can make compost with it takes carbon, it takes nitrogen, it takes air, it takes water. All you have to do is the weeds that you're pulling up from your garden, you put it into a bin. The toilet paper, pulbanan, like the skin of the banana, onions, all the kitchen greens, anything that's biodegradable. If you're able to put it into a small section of, you know, some place where you can be able to till it every once in a while, turn it around, eventually that becomes rich nutrient dirt. That becomes extremely rich in nutrient dirt. And that's something that we should be using. Compost should be a very big ingredient in Haitian agriculture.
So you have the answers, my brother, to take action, you know? So I'm gonna ask you this as a question. How do non-Haitian blacks help Haiti?
I think I think the first issue that non-Haitian blacks might have in wanting to help Haiti is the language barrier. I think if a non-Haitian African American would decide they wanted to go to Haiti and help, I think they should get with a Haitian American and sit down and figure out a strong plan in which how they can go to Haiti, travel with that person and see what's going on and invest in the business and have somebody with them that speaks both English and Creole and help them be able to translate whatever they want to do.
Okay, great. So we going back to the agriculture. So you did find a solution. You basically you could start taking the steps of fixing the problems because we see the problem. So it's all about taking action. You know,
Yeah.
I like you because you already taking action. You already tell the people what you got going on. Actually, tell them about your program, what you actually doing in your community. Please inform them so they can know, like, man, this guy is already doing things in the community.
Okay, so like I was telling you before, we purchased a property. It's about a quarter acre. We fenced it off. We fenced the property off. We built a 2-story home on it. We got electricity 24/7. We built 2 aquaponic tanks that can hold up to 3,000 fish, not per, but in total. So 1,500 fish per tank. We built a greenhouse on top of the property as well. And we also have another quarter acre in which we did pepper sprouts. We did Scotch bonnet pepper sprouts, and we did them in the greenhouse first. We did them in the greenhouse first, and then now we transferred them over to the other property that we have. We're also doing compost bins, and something that I really want to get into once I get back to Haiti is compost toilets as well. Also, we do work with the school. We work with the school locally, and we eventually want to get together. We want to get to the goal where we're able to provide multiple school lunches, but you know, it's kind of tough right now. It's kind of tough looking for, you know, the sponsorship, trying to expand what we have. It's a bit hard. So right now we're working with one school in Las Calabas. It's called Capomela Elementary, and we're able to provide them with lunches. Able to provide with the raw, not just lunches, but we're able to provide them with the raw materials so they can go make lunches. We're able to provide them with carrots, green peppers. Eventually, once the fish are in harvest, we're able to provide them with fish. And I also want to get into poultry production because poultry it produces a bit faster than fish. So I know that is more of a consistent thing for them.
Man, I love this. I love this initiative because you first of all, you taking action. You seen a problem and you took action. You come into Haiti, even though they warn you not to come to Haiti, and you targeting an area that's definitely needed to boost our economy. Agriculture and food production, poultry, fish, plants. So that is an amazing, amazing, amazing thing, man. So everybody, I want y'all to go follow this man on Instagram. Please shout out your Instagram, your Facebook, so they could go check you out, man.
Of course. So if you want to check us out, we're on Instagram at Organic Operations. That's our at on Instagram. We're also on Facebook at Organic Operations, and our website again is organicoperations.org.
All right, y'all. And I want the people to know, like, we know I got my mission going on. My mission is free school, you know, free education for the people. And some people will probably be like, man, how can you try to bring something else up there that's basically in need of sponsors and stuff like that? The reason is because this man is doing a wonderful work. He's fighting the same fight that I'm fighting, you know, just he's over here with it, an area that's very needed. So you are fighting the same good fight, and that is to make Haiti better. That is attacking the problems at the roots. When I see people like you, I bring you closer because you are a general, you are a soldier in this war that's going to lead us to victory, you know, and you young, my brother, and you well-spoken, well-educated, man, you have the mannerism. So when I see this, man, I want to promote my brothers. I want to do whatever I could do to make sure my country get in a better place because the ultimate goal is Haiti.
But we both of our organizations go hand in hand, Brother Love, because my intent, you know, to be very honest with you, To be honest, I see school lunch is extremely important because I was educated in America, and that was one thing that was for sure. When you went to school in America, like you were gonna get 2 meals a day. That was for sure. If you went to school early enough, you were gonna get breakfast, and
That's right.
and at lunchtime they're gonna give you lunch as well. They want to feed children. Education, a child can't learn without being properly fed. Have you ever gone to school? Have you ever gone to school and you were hungry? You know you can't learn until it's lunchtime. Until it's lunchtime and you eat something, you're not learning anything. All you're thinking about is I'm hungry and I want some food. I need some food. I need something to eat. I need something to eat. So both of our organizations go hand in hand. If we don't have food that we can feed not only to the young, but not only to their parents and other people throughout the country, nobody will be able to really strive. Nobody will be able to really do anything. I think that's a major issue in Haiti right now. That's why Haitians aren't able to fight right now, because a lot of Haitians, let's be realistic, they're starving. A lot of Haitians are hungry. They don't know where they're going to get that next meal. They might have something to eat in the morning, and at 12 o'clock, they're show because they don't know what they're going to eat. They honestly do not know what they're going to eat. And then at dinner, they don't know what they're going to eat after that. So if we're able to cut that out, if we're able to say, all right, when your child goes to school, we're going to feed your child. Your child throughout the whole country. We have a solid school lunch program where every single child that goes to school is going to be fed. At least that takes something off of their shoulders. At least they know that I might be hungry, but my child isn't hungry. My child went to school and they got 2 lunches today. When they get home, I'm going to find something to feed them, or they might still be full from school. But if we could just do that, simply that, those are small initiatives, small steps towards the bigger problem, towards the bigger issue.
Man, you see how energy just connects us together. And I want you to know this is the start of something great. This is the root to the tree. Because when you come to Haiti, I'm going to connect with you. We're going to go see the your land. We're going to see your project, because I love what you're doing and I want to highlight it, my brother, because it needs to be seen. It needs to let the world know that we have youth. We have the younger generation that's planning for Haiti. You are, catching a plane and you coming to Haiti, you fighting for Haiti. So how do the community receive you in Haiti?
Oh man, the community loves in Haiti, man. It was funny. I get at least 5 phone calls from my auntie in Haiti, from all the other people I work with, the director of the school in Haiti. At least minimum every single day, I get at least from that area. I get at least 5 phone calls from people just checking up on me, wanting to see how I'm doing, how soon I'm gonna get back to Haiti, all these different things, man. So the community where we're from, they've embraced me very much a lot. They love me. And it's also a community that both my mother and father are from. Both my mother and father grew up in Las Calabas. Our family's well known. My grandfather had 13 children. So a lot of the times, man, I'll be very honest with you, the area that we're at, for me to get into town, because we're a bit further down, but for me to get into town, I pass at least 5 of my auntie's houses. For me to get into town, for me to walk to get into town. If I want to go buy something, I gotta stop at this auntie's house and say, "Hey, auntie, how you doing?" I gotta stop at that auntie's house. Say, "Hey, auntie, how you doing?" I stop at the. So we're very well known in that area. People love us. People know my mother as well. People are very familiar with my mother because my mother has always been in that community. My mother has given her life to Haiti. She sacrificed a lot, and she's always wanted to see Haiti in a better position. So people are very familiar with her. Whenever she's in Haiti, she's constantly doing, the Action de Glace. She's constantly at church. She's constantly praising God, giving love to Haiti, and doing what she could possibly do for Haiti. My father as well. He's big on, religion. He's big on the church as well too. So people have received me and my family extremely well. I have 4 sisters in total and 1 younger brother. 2 of my other sisters have already purchased properties in Haiti themselves, and they're building their homes and preparing for their retirement. I have another sister of mine who's very much interested in purchasing a property in Haiti. So our family is very geared and centered towards Haiti and trying to create a better Haiti.
Okay, we have something to say, Panu Punu. Now, that is my logo, Panu Punu. I believe that for us, by us, Panu Punu, what you represent is Panu Punu. This is why we're here. And we have a great question for you right here, which is great. And this is a serious brother right here. This brother right here is helping us with the movements you see today. Free school in Haiti, free lunch. And the kids is actually taking exams, so we are able to give them free breakfast too, which is great. So he said, do you accept investors? That means somebody believe in your dream. Do you accept investors?
Yes, of course I accept investors. But I would say before I get into any relationship with anybody, I want them first to step on the soil and see what we're doing. That's the most crucial thing to me. I know a lot of people are fearful of Haiti right now and they're scared of Haiti, but I want you to come to the location that we're at and see exactly what we're doing, so you can understand that transparency is 100% key. We're not the Red Cross.
Right.
We're not gonna just take your money and tell you that we did something and we did absolutely nothing. That's something I do not respect and I do not believe in. I want you to come down to the soil. I want you to put your foot in the soil. I want you to go see the fish. I want you to go see the vegetables. I want you to see exactly what's going on before we can talk about a relationship investment. And from there, once you're able to believe in us, once you're able to see that, this guy and his organization are credible people, then we could talk about, all right, how do you see yourself investing? How do you want to go about investing? Because I'm not somebody who has this idea and I'm just like, oh, this is my idea and it has to go this way. I'm always open to suggestion, always open to working with people, because the biggest solution is us building a bigger country, a better country, and a bigger country.
That's right. I love that, my brother. Like, I love your style, man. You remind me of me, man. Transparency is your greatest currency, and you are doing something from the heart, man. And what you're doing, man, is definitely wonderful, man. And so look, I love it. Let me ask you this, right? Because I had a talk with a brother, right? And when I spoke to the brother, he said when he come to Haiti, you see more foreign people getting on that plane than Haitians. Whereas you go to Cuba, you just see a bunch of Cuban people coming off that plane. When you get on that plane, like, what do you see? Do you see more foreign entrants, or do you see Haiti's children coming back home?
Well, as of recently, I'll share a story with you first. As of recently, I've been traveling through the Dominican Republic because of how bad Port-au-Prince is. And also Las Cabas is an hour away from there, so it's much more safer for me. But when I would travel to Haiti when I would travel to Haiti and into Port-au-Prince, I would see a lot of foreign interest. I would see a lot of foreigners, and I would also ask them questions. I didn't just stay there and look at them. I'd be like, "What are you doing in Haiti? What are you coming to Haiti for?" Some of them would be like, we have businesses, we have things going on in there, and some of them were aid workers. They were, volunteering, they were doing stuff in Haiti. But it should make us ask ourselves that question: if the world views us as a third world country, views us as a place that is hopeless and lost, why are you coming? What are your intents? What are your intents? Why are you stepping foot in Haiti then? Why are you coming to Haiti? So obviously that doesn't mean we're lost. That obviously that doesn't mean we're hopeless. That means there's something here. That means there's something here and you're benefiting from it. So why can't the people that live in the land, the people that survive here every single day, why can't they benefit from it as well too?
Man, that is definitely wonderful. We got a lot of new people coming in, that didn't really get a chance to hear what you're saying, man. This is one of my most powerful lives. We here with Colin Reserve, the founder and CEO of Organic Operations, doing wonderful work back home in Haiti. He is from the Diaspora community, reinvesting back in Haiti. So some more pointers, do's and don'ts for the diasporas that want to come invest in Haiti. Would you say invest or don't invest? If the diaspora wanted to come back and invest, what would be your advice for them?
I would definitely advise, investing and also, doing your homework before you invest. But I would also say that Haiti isn't just Port-au-Prince. Haiti is not solely just Port-au-Prince. We have 10 other departments within the country. We have 10 other departments in which you can go and you can decide to invest in. Haiti, yeah, I mean, for commercial business, yes, Port-au-Prince is the place to go. But if you want to get into something else, there's many other parts of Haiti that you can go to. You can go to and you can invest and you can do something. We need that investment out in the countryside. People in the countryside want to work just as much as people in Port-au-Prince want to work too.
That's right.
There's other places in Haiti. If you decide to go and invest your money, you can create something great within it. You don't have to just solely concentrate everything in Haiti. The concentration of all the commercial business in Haiti happened during Papa Doc because he wanted control over Haiti, and he knew that the only way that he could have control over Haiti is by centralizing everything in Port-au-Prince. But we're 40 years after Papa Doc. Why are we not looking into investing in areas like Las Cabas? Why are we not looking to invest in places like Jérémy, Jacmel? I mean, there's investments in there, but why aren't we looking to do greater things within those regions? Why aren't we looking to do places in Gungwab, Tigwab, all these different other areas, huh?
Amazing. That's wonderful because, I travel through the provinces of Haiti so I could actually get a chance to experience what it is being Haitian instead of just being Port-au-Prince. And when you go to those countries, it's no insecurity issues in those provinces. In those provinces, it's still virgin territory. You just see a bunch of land with just trees growing that's undeveloped. But one thing that I always say, for every opportunity we lack, there's an opportunity in place.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, man. I very much agree with that. Like these places are untouched. These places are unscathed and extremely beautiful. For instance, my father originally comes from Palisa, and it's an area in which you gotta take a canoe to get over there. You gotta take a canoe, and it's almost like a 30-minute boat ride. 30-minute canoe ride. You know, you're not a bit more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And when I get over there, it's absolutely refreshing. There's barely any business over there, which is kind of a shame. But it's almost untouched. It's almost like the Garden of Eden. Like there's no entrance in there. There's not even a road to get over there. Again, you have to take a boat. And I just think that
Mm.
these places need to be invested in. These places need to be developed. These people need to see these type of places because these regions are beautiful. These places, you could build luxury resorts, you could build luxury homes in these areas, you could build beautiful things, you can invest in farming, you can invest in agriculture, you can invest in so many things. And the people want it. The people want jobs. The people, honestly, I don't believe a lot of people in Haiti want to have to go to Port-au-Prince. I don't think that. I think the only reason why they go to Port-au-Prince is because that's where the work is at. But if they had the work within their village, if they had the work within their area, they'd be happy. They'd be content in staying in their area and working. They would have no issue with that at all.
Man, wonderful, man. Wonderful, wonderful. So give the people a little bit about your background. How do you know so much about agriculture and aquaponics and stuff like that? How did you fall in love with it? You just give them a little bit about yourself so they can get to know who is Columns Reserve.
Oh man, I fell in love. I honestly think it's just in my blood, man. My grandfather, man, he had 13 kids, like I told you, man. So he had to get his hustle on. He had to find a way to provide for all 13 of them kids, man. And the place where he's from, everybody knows him. Everybody knows Sinclair. Everybody, if you go to Bali side where he's from, and you say Sinclair, everybody will be able to tell you his story. Everybody will tell you this guy used to sell. This guy was the king of selling cows. He was that was it for him. He sold all types of different cows. He did everything. He owned a whole bunch of land. He did a whole bunch of great things with the area that he's from. So I think, in all honesty, I tried to run away from it, man. My background is originally in film. I did a lot of film work up in New York, and I thought that was my calling for a long time, and I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. But man, I guess my grandfather calling me. He's telling me, nah, that's not the thing you're supposed to be doing, man. You're supposed to continue what I got going on because he bought a lot of property in that area. My father continued right after him. My father stayed in the area too. He bought a lot of property out there too, and I just think it's within our blood. I think it's within my blood personally. I actually got really involved into agriculture when I turned about 20 years old. I took a trip out to California through this program called WOOF. It's called Worldwide Organization for Organic Farming. And while on this farm, that's the first time I was really, introduced to agriculture, introduced to specifically organic agriculture and organic methods of growing. Um, I ran away from it for a bit, but I did learn a lot while I was over there. And in the last couple of years, I've just been refreshing myself, learning more knowledge. And recently, I came back to the States while on my donation run here back in the States. I've been taking permaculture classes, and permaculture is a whole different thing. It's mind-boggling. It's regenerative agriculture, and that is the one thing Haiti needs is to regenerate its agriculture, regenerate its soil, regenerate everything. It teaches you methods that are very not invasive on the environment, that are very, very easy, and things that we can do in Haiti with the tools that we have right now. That's why I learned the whole concept of a compost toilet. Us taking, and this might be a bit uncomfortable for some people, but us using our own waste to be able to grow trees. And if you decide, okay, hey, I don't want to, use my waste to grow food particularly, you can use your waste to grow trees. You can use your waste to help your own human waste to repopulate forests.
Okay, there's a question here, right here. Let me see. Let me see what the question is. Somebody said, this for whoever watching. I wonder what U.S. state is equivalent to Haiti in size.
I believe it's Maine. I believe it's Maine. Maine is about the equivalent size of Haiti.
Wow.
Maine
Wow.
or
Wow.
Maine or Maryland, either one of the two states. I'm not too sure.
I want to give a special thank you to Miss Patricia Bien-Aimé. I'm gonna cock it back for you. Choo choo. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Now the people want me to they want a tour. They said take us on a tour to your farm, my brother, so we can see what's going on. You know. So I'm gonna read.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come out, guys. Listen, you contact me, email me, and I'll be in Haiti by January. I would love to get to Haiti by late December, but I'm still trying to figure out a few things. But once I get to Haiti, I would love for you guys, if you guys don't feel safe passing through Port-au-Prince, contact me, man. You guys get to the Dominican Republic, get to the border, and I'll be right there. I'll pick you up and you go right to the farm, man.
That's right, Joe. That's what it's about, man. We coming together and highlighting each other, my brother, because see, La Union fait la force is the mantra that got us our independence. But lately, we lost that because we've been divided politically. We have over 100 plus different political groups. So if you keep us so far separated, it's going to be hard for us to come to an agreement. So they're using politics to separate us. So what we need to do, us, the youth, even the like-minded people, should I say, is come together, support one another. I want to be one of your biggest supporters, my brother, because I love what you are doing. What you are doing is far greater than yourself. It's far greater than me. It is generational change. So anybody that's taking on a fight to help Haiti, because you are taking action. You're not complaining about the problems. We know Haiti has a deforestation issue. We know Haiti has an agriculture issue. And what I admire so much about you is the fact that you took action where it was needed. You didn't want to just complain about it. You took action. So I love that, my brother, and I support you, man. Any way that I can support you, I'm here for you, King.
Well, brother, I'll be very honest with you too, man. I just think, as Haitians, like, we should be embarrassed, man. We should honestly be embarrassed about how we've let the condition of our country reach this point. When I go to Dominican Republic and they look at me a bit funny because I'm speaking Creole, I kind of don't blame them. I'm not angry with them 100%. I do blame them somewhat a little bit because hey, we're brothers and sisters, we're on the same island. But when you go to Dominican Republic and you travel around Dominican Republic, you're like, it's like I'm almost in the States still. This is like a little less version of Miami. This isn't so bad. This is not bad. And then when you cross over to the border, you're just like, what's going on over here? What is going on? Why can't we be like the country that's right besides us? We're not even comparing ourselves to the United States, but why can't we be similar to the Dominican Republic? And the Dominican Republic didn't take too long for it to do that. This has happened in the last 25 years.
But they didn't face, you just gave the answer to that. They didn't face the same obstacles we face. They didn't face the destroyment of our agriculture. It wasn't an embargo placed on them. They didn't have to refund that money, and you didn't have communism get in their country and so you didn't have that separation. So we set back because it's systematic. All these things that you gave the history of play a part of the conditions that we are today. So whatever happened in the past definitely dictate your future. This is why our strength is needed. All the strength of those that support us, that share our ideas are needed, because our present right now is in the future will be the past. And what we do today, we wanted to account for the glory and greatness of what we're going to go, because we will not fail. We are determined. We have people that invest into free school, free education. We have people that invest into agriculture. So how can we lose when we got our brothers and sisters that's united for the fight? So I know we're going to get right, because you are a representation of the bright future that's in Haiti. And I salute you, my brother. I salute you, King. Keep pushing in any way that I can support and show love. I got you, my brother.
No, I appreciate it, brother, man. I very much appreciate it, man. And I want to fight the good fight with you, man. I'd love to be able to, provide your school with free lunches. I'd love to be able to provide multiple schools in the country with free lunches, man, because that's the end goal, is to, provide lunches, provide agriculture, provide food, and eventually build so much of a surplus that we're able to take it to another country. And now we can really get things stimulated. Now we can really get things improving. Now we can really get things to the way that we want them to be.
Man, that's wonderful. And you know what, my brother? We're going to get to that level, because panum punum, I don't want to have to go and buy stuff that's being imported into the country. I don't want to have to go buy a bag of rice that said American rice in it, because it's at a better deal. And I know this rice is coming from Arkansas. This rice is the placement that destroyed our rice farm. You understand? I don't want to support those type of businesses. I want to support Panu Punu. So we're gonna get to that level, my brother. The universe brought us together. See, these stuff that you've been talking about is these stuff that we've been preaching on. You know, agriculture, permaculture. You know, my brother actually is very heavy into permaculture. You get them to start talking about permaculture, he just get excited and talk for hours. Start talking about moringa plants and everything. You know, how he could take a tree and grow it for like 7 years or something like that. So we spoke this energy into existence because now you are connected, and I'm very well impressed with you. You know, so it's a wonderful thing, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I would love to see, the advancement in Haiti, man, because when you compare it to like well, not even compare, but when you think about back to Rwanda, 25 years ago faced a genocide where 1 million Africans died, right? And Haiti is somewhat on a similar path. When we see what's happening in Port-au-Prince, how these guys are just shooting people down with no remorse and have no issue and they have no problem with what they're doing. We're seeing that we're on a similar path. But when you look at Rwanda 20 years later, Rwanda has been voted the least corrupt country in Africa. Could you imagine that?
Wow.
Can you imagine a country 20 years ago had a genocide where over 1 million of its people died, and now it's voted the least corrupt country in Africa. It's voted the best country in Africa to invest your money in. If you see the advancement of Rwanda, you'd be surprised. You'd be shocked. You would never assume that 20 years ago 1 million people died in this country. Why can't we take those initiatives? Why can't we start taking those steps to be on that path? It doesn't take a lifetime for a country to turn around. There's been countries who've been worse situations than us. Why are we not taking those steps? Why are we not coming together and working together? It's extremely important for all Haitians to come together and literally hold hands, put our hands together and create something. It's very important that we do that. It takes a coalition. It takes a number of people to do something. And it can't just be me and you and just a few other people scattered around throughout the island doing something. We need a large group of people doing this with us. We need a support system. We need multiple people doing this with us. And they don't necessarily have to just be Haitian. They can be whoever has good intent for Haiti.
That's right. Man, what I would like to see for you, my brother, I would like to see people just share you on your platform. I would like to see you talk to, different people. Spread your message as far as possible because you made me a believer because, you're very well informed, but you are taking action. That's the part that counts, the action. You are taking action. So I would love to see people get behind you, support you. This is not a brother love and Haiti thing. This is a Haiti thing. I would love to see you go on different platforms and spread the message as far as you can, reach as far as you can, make as much impact as you can. That's what I would really love to see, my brother.
Well, I mean, hopefully by the grace of God, we're able to do that, man. By the grace of God, we're able to, speak on as many platforms as we can. We're able to, draw that energy in, and we're able to, bring more people into this movement and really believe in what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be great for the country, man. It's going to be a great thing for the country to see us at a level in which we've never been in. That's going to be the most beautiful thing, because we all have parents. My mother would love to retire in Haiti right now. She would love it. That's her dream. She wants to so bad, but she's fearful. She's scared that, with the things that's going on, she won't be able to retire in Haiti, man. And we want to see our older generation who sat in the United States for the last 20 years, who've been working every single day of their life. We want to see them be able to go back to Haiti and go enjoy the fruits of their labor. We want to see that. We want to see people, the youth in Haiti, not have to leave the country and not have to go through the jungles of Colombia, have to go through the jungles of Brazil and almost getting eaten by animals, having our women, sexually, things happen to them sexually, having a lot of people almost losing their lives on these journeys just to reach the border of the United States and get turned right back. We don't want to see that anymore. We don't want to see all these kids having to leave the country, going to the Dominican Republic and facing humiliation by, the Dominican police and Dominican immigration and getting taken and arrested and having to pay bribes and having to, and even if they pay bribes, they're still sent back to Haiti. We don't want to see that anymore. We want to see these people, go to school, get educated, being able to have the option to say, hey, if I want to stay in my country, I can stay in my country and work. And if I don't, it's not a big issue. I can go and travel to other parts of the world. But eventually, I want to be able to come back into my country and do something there as well.
Man, that's wonderful. You said one of the guys that asked you about the investor too deep said I have connections near the Haiti and DR border. I'm going to speak to them about that area you work in and might be able to visit. That's
Perfect.
wonderful.
Perfect. That gentleman who's interested in visiting, I don't know if you'll be able to share his information, or you can share my information with him, brother Love. But
Most
man,
certainly.
I'll be back in Haiti by at least January, and I'd love to be able to get with him, man, and love to show him around and show him what's going on.
And this is a very serious brother, man. True to his word, good brother. And this is what it's about, connecting us with each other. Some people got the fear of, oh no, I can't bring nothing positive on my platform because it might take away from what I'm doing. We don't have those problems over here because this movement is blessed. We're going to be good. You understand? So we are just trying to make Haiti a better place. You understand? That's what it's about, my brother. And you're doing a wonderful job. I'll just keep saying it,
Thank you, brother, man. You're doing a wonderful job as well, too, man. It was with the situation that you faced, man. You could have came back to Haiti and decided to go down a whole nother route, because we see what a lot of these guys do. A lot of these guys, when in their situations, man, they're the guys who are shooting up in Matisan right now. They're the guys who are in Gungavi. They're the guys who are in Katsamaos. Or those guys decide to go down a whole left path. But you're doing something amazing, man. You decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna open up a school. I'm gonna do something positive for the community.
That's what it's about, man, because I fought for the country for so long. I fought when we was being disrespected in America, when my younger Haitian brothers and sisters, not by blood, was being bullied. I couldn't just sit there and watch them get bullied. You understand? So I understand that I have a love for Haiti. I have a connection with Haiti and you can't really, if you got that heart, you can't really just see something unjust and don't speak. You understand? Can't see nothing unjust go by and don't speak. So, everything you was meant to do is going to happen, even if it's unorthodox. But whatever's in you is going to show. Yeah, man. So definitely thank you, my brother, for this wonderful, wonderful live. Once again, we're going to put your information up there. Let me go get it. We're going to put your information up there for the people who want to visit you and let them know, man, Brother Love sent y'all and you seen him on the live, man. I definitely appreciate you. Any last words, my brother?
Oh, man, it was great being able to speak with you, brother. It was great that you decided to introduce me to your audience, man. I appreciate it very much. And we're going to stick together, man. Soon I'll be in Haiti. We'll get to do a couple of videos together. You'll get to take a tour of the farm, and hopefully your viewers will get to see what's going on. And we just got to stay strong, man. Keep our heads up and keep believing that, our future can be great if we stay determined and we stay focused on what we believe in.
Well, certainly. Somebody said best live, bro. Thank you so much, y'all. Please share, like on all platforms. This is a message that needs to be sent out to everybody. We need this because they try to paint us in a bad way. We got brothers here that's finding solutions. So please
one
share.
more thing. One more thing, brother, not to cut you off. One more thing, but also I think, invest in the Haitian youth, man. Invest in the Haitian youth. Invest in them, man. Because a lot of these kids are extremely bright. A lot of these guys are extremely smart, man. And they just don't have the investment. They just don't have the people behind them, man. So invest in the Haitian youth. Invest in them heavily, man.
And is it an area in Lashambas called Buakayo?
I'm not familiar. No, sorry. I'm not familiar with that area. Sorry.
We had a brother here on the live for Haitien that actually got a free school out there. So it's a little, but he's doing a wonderful project up there. And and what he usually do, the parents is farmers. So he just take a percentage of the farm in order to feed the kids, which is great initiative. So you get wonderful. Like this was true pleasure. This was a true pleasure. Amazing. Let's go. Fire live. Please like, subscribe, share. Yes, let's go. BL doing the work. We got to do it. Thank you, Collins. God bless you in your investment. Let's go. Powerful.
Thank you, man.
Collins Reserve, you are a gem. Everybody, please share on all platforms. Let's unite. This is the fight, and we're going to win. The reason we're going to win because we are determined, we are passionate, and it's in us to fight and win. No matter what hardship we go through, let's not lose focus, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night, man.